Okay, so I'm going to cover really quickly how to do recurring foods. It's one of the bigger questions that I get. So the first thing that you want to make sure that you have done is created your meal layouts. You can do that up here. It's under meals and layouts under preferences. Add your meals in here, set them up how you want them as far as their size, how many people they're made for. Use only recurring foods in a meal. This is the checkbox you need to use. You'll see in my supplements that's what I've done. Use only recurring foods for this meal. Because I have use only recurring foods for this meal, this section doesn't really matter. For me anyway. So let's go back to the meal planner and I'll show you what to do. So you can see in here, this is my supplements. I've dragged in, you can search foods. So for example, if it'll go faster, here we go. Typing in can be a little bit slow as it's processing. If it gets really slow and laggy because it's trying to cache and use basically flash technology, just come up here and refresh the page completely and you should have no problem. So I've generated this food in a custom food of mine. I believe this should be available down here when you search for it. But you can see it's also listed here, ignition, glycogen, supercompensation formula. That's also the same thing. Just make sure whenever you add foods in there that the macros that you can see in that little black box there match what's actually on the box. So on the jar of ignition, the calories are 170 with 43 grams of carbs and no fat and no proteins. This has slightly different calories. I'm not sure why. That's partially why I create some of my own custom foods. So you can drag and drop this over. It's already listed in here, so I'll go ahead and just remove that just so I can show this to you. So I'm going to put in a half scoop because that's what I have every time I work out, which is pretty much every day. And to set a recurring food, click little ellipses next to the food and set recurring food. Okay, this gives you the options here. So you have which meal type it's going to have. So you can see this is my supplements meal type. The frequency, if you have a breakfast thing like coffee that you want often but not always, that could be something that you put in there as often. These are everyday, always. I always want it to use these, so I have it set to always. The amount that you're using always, what the unit is, and you hit add to meal. When you hit add to meal, it shows up down here. This is also where you edit and take out recurring foods. So if you are no longer taking Opti Reds, that's what those are, or your Opti Greens, which you should always be taking anyway, take it out and close it out, and you can regenerate this, and it will regenerate that without the one that you took out, or with the new one that you added. So that's how you do recurring foods. If you have any questions, let me know.